Hi everybody, welcome to the first week in my Attention Shoppers online coffee and card for the month of September 2024. I'm really excited to get going with this class. This is one of my absolute favourite sets from the annual catalogue. Wasn't sure on it when I first saw it, saw Michaela to the Ridge use it, and now I'm loving it. So you may have seen me use it quite a lot, and I was asked by a couple of my customers if I was doing a class, and here it is. So for the next 4 weeks, there's going to be a video published at 2 o'clock each week, and each week I'm going to show you something a little bit different with the stamp set. I've also used the dies. There is a set of dies available for this as well, and it coordinates really nicely. You have dies that go around each image, and then you have a shopping trolley die, which is just lovely. Who knew we needed a shopping trolley? But Stampin' Up did. So in this video, I'm going to talk you through card number 1. And in card number 1, I'm going to be creating this design. And I'm saving the trolley for a few weeks because the trolley is really special. But this isn't just about the trolley. I love these individual images that we have in this stamp set, and I hope you're going to enjoy the class. Each week you have a different card kit to use. They're all in a little packet, and then you have in your kit some spare white card for your stamping. So for this week's class, you have a card base cut from Highland Heather. I have a layer of Highland Heather card and a layer of basic white card that sits together like so. So you have a narrow one and then a wider one. And then you'll have a piece of white card that is the same width roughly as the piece of Highland Heather card. I've got me some scrap card that I'm going to do my stamping on. And I have, sorry, I'm just putting the power cable in my laptop, might be useful. I've got a Highland Heather ink pad and a Memento ink pad. We're going to be using 2 stamps. I'm using Just For You, the sentiment, and I'm using the Bouquet of Flowers image. They're both being stamped in Memento. I'm also going to use the floral image to decorate the sides of my Highland Heather card. And then I've got a selection of stamping blends. So the theme of this card is purples. So I've gone for Bubble Bath, Highland Heather and Petunia Pop. But grab whichever colours that you like most. And then for the bouquets themselves, I have got some Smoky Slate. So let's put this card together, shall we? Let's put that up there. Now, my card base, yours is already pre-scored. Mine, however, is not. So I'm just going to score that like so. So give that a really nice little crease. And pop that to one side. The piece in the centre looks like this. That's my scrap for my stamping. The piece in the centre is just going to sit really nicely in there. But before we stick it down, I'm going to draw around the edge of my white card just with a little thin line. And this is just a basic black fine liner that I found in a stationery shop. Whenever I go out, I'm always looking at black fine liners because I use them so much. I'm definitely a fine line girl over a biro. So that I'm going to stick into the inside of my card. Like so. And then I'm going to work on this purple layer. And I need a piece of grid paper for this. So I'm going to make sure my stamp is clean. It is. And I'm using the Bouquet stamp to start us off. And what I want to create is I want to create this little bit of detail down the edge. So I'm going to ink up my stamp with Highland Heather, and then I want to stamp so that I'm just getting the flowers, and then I'm going to stamp that all the way down this edge of the card. Don't worry too much if it overlaps. It's kind of the fun of it. And if you end up getting a little bit of the bouquet, don't worry too much. When it's stuck down, you really won't see it. Okay. So there we have the edge of my card nicely stamped, and I can stick that down onto my card front. This card is mostly flat. The bouquet of flowers in the centre is stuck on with pads, but feel free to add some depth in your cards by using glue dots and dimensionals. And then the great thing about this, obviously it looks very wonky, but when you put this piece on, it covers all of that up and you're just left with a really nice detailed edge. I love that. Before I stick it down, I'm going to just draw around each long edge of my white card again. And that's good on there. And then I can stick that down. So because everything's flat, I don't have to worry too much about my sentiment. But if you were to be using different layers, you want to make sure that you've stamped your sentiment onto your piece of white before you stick it down. Otherwise, it's just going to be really bumpy and possibly ruin your card. So just for you, that's being stamped with Memento. Give that a really good inking. I also need to re-ink my Memento, hence why I'm being quite... I'm stamping it a few times just for you. And I'm going to keep my Memento out, and I want to stamp me 2 bouquets of flowers. Lovely. And then now we can colour those in. So I'm going to start with my bouquet, and I'm going to colour all the pieces I need to in grey. So this is Smoky Slate. I also thought about using crumb cake to sort of demonstrate sort of brown paper, but I felt like the grey went really nicely with the purple shades. If you're watching on YouTube and you haven't purchased a kit, you can still create these cards at home. But just to know, each month I run this class, and if you wanted to purchase a kit, this month's class, or next month's class, I'm going to be using, what am I going to be using? If only I could remember. What did I say I was going to be? Oh, the Christmas Friends I'm using for October, and I'm going to share with you some sort of colouring techniques with pencils and blends. Pencils are my preferred colouring medium, especially for colouring sort of creatures and naturey things. So I've just gone around the edge with the dark. I'm just going to blend some of that in together. Perfect. Now for my flowers are all very random, so I'm always starting with the lighter shade, and I am quite literally colouring just different flowers in. And it doesn't matter if they're nearby. But if you wanted to add in a different colour, you absolutely could. I'm going to do that one in purple. Okay, so once I've done that, I'm going to give each one just a little bit of detail with the darker shade. always open the wrong end. And this is a card design that would look great in any colour. So if you've got someone that has a particularly favourite colour, you could make it in that for them. And just change the colour of your card and the colour of your flowers. Perfect. So there are my coloured bouquet. I'm just checking something because my camera has just stopped working and I don't know why. Is it back? It is back. I'm hoping that it didn't freeze. Let's keep going and see what happens. Maybe it's just technology being very naughty. So there is a die for these, but it's quite a simple shape. So I am going to cut this out and I'm leaving just a nice little white border showing. Just go around. Okay, let's just keep going. Get rid of that bit. These dies will fit in your mini cut and emboss machine as well, so you don't need to lug around the standard size one. Even the shopping trolley fits in the mini. Okay, there we go. So now I can put dimensionals on the back of these. Let's just grab a couple of those. I'm just going to do one on each. There you go. And then I'm going to layer these together. So I'm going to pop them on so they're near my sentiment. And then that one like so. And that's it. That's card number 1 of this month's class, all finished. Do let me know what you think in the comments, and I'd love to see your finished card shared back with me. If you're not a regular subscriber, not a regular watcher, but you'd like to be a subscriber, just hit subscribe and you'll be notified of future tutorials in your notifications. And if you wanted to see any future classes, all the information is in the description below. I do hope you'll join me. Bye for now.